Well, first, that's the playbook. If you're a neoconservative and the neocons are driving the train, they're part of the larger globalist elite that wants to transform us into sedated sheep. They want to degrade the concept of a human being with a living soul and adopt the atheistic sort of materialistic approach to dealing with people as fungible products or commodities, things that are meaningless in and of themselves that can be employed as they see fit. This kind of Trotskyite logic and thinking was the origin behind the Comintern. And we've become a kind of 21st century version of the same thing. No, you're absolutely right. We are sowing the seeds of discord everywhere we possibly can. Now, can all of these come together and result in a global catastrophe? I suppose it's possible. It's never impossible. But there are a few differences that need to be noted. In 1914, when we saw the First World War break out, all of the major participants were already primed for some sort of conflict. They all underestimated its dangers and its destructiveness, but they were all ready to pounce. They were already in the launch mode. It didn't take much to cause it. In fact, Gavrilo Princip, the man that killed the Archduke, said after he was captured, even if I had never been there and never shot the Archduke, eventually this war was going to happen. Well, there's some truth to that. But what you have is the slow burn today that takes months and years versus the month or so that elapsed between 28 June and the end of July, 1, 2, 3, 4 August. In other words, everyone did not instantly pull the trigger. It took a succession of events. Well, take that same sort of choreography and apply it to the world today. We're not going to see World War III break out this week or next week. It's going to take a few months. I think by April, May timeframe, all the pieces will be in place. And whoever is not involved in the region or externally will become involved. Remember, Russia is closely aligned with Iran. The Russians are not going to allow Iran to be destroyed. By the way, if Turkey entered this fight, the Russians would not allow Turkey to be destroyed. The interesting thing is that Russia and China seem to be very concerned about preserving the international system. We seem hell-bent to destroy it. And yet we're the people that talk about, the rule-based order. What rules? Whatever we say is the rule. Whatever we say, you do. That's all. It's all hypocritical nonsense. It's meaningless nonsense. It's a facade. We're not even enforcing our own laws inside the United States. We're rewarding criminals for their criminal behavior. We're putting policemen in jail. Policemen are afraid to enforce the law. We won't defend our borders. We now have a president who wants to commit federal forces against Texas and anyone else that challenges the right of his party, his administration, the swamp. Just put it all together to open our borders and flood us with millions of people that we did not invite. We can't use, we can't assimilate, we can't put to work. And everybody talks about, well, our economy is growing. It's government spending. We are not growing. Our economy is weak. That's the point. And our financial position has never been more fragile. And it's only a matter of time until the world holds a fire sale on our treasuries. Look, we are going to take $300 billion in assets that are Russian and illegally seize those and turn those monies or assets over to Ukraine, this criminal regime in Kiev that's our puppet led by Zelensky. Now, let's stop and think about that. If you watch this, if you're India, if you're China, if you're Saudi Arabia, pick your country, Brazil, Argentina, anywhere. Why would you want to hold U.S. treasuries? How do you know the rug's not going to be pulled out from under you the way we are pulling it out from under Russia? They're going to start offloading our treasuries. And remember, most of these were purchased when they were at 0% interest. So these things are of very little value to them anymore. It's a losing proposition. But that cascading effect overseas is also going to be felt here because our banks own the same toxic treasuries that are now have no real value. They are a burden, not an asset, but they can't sell them. What happens to us? We're just walking into a giant bear trap. That's the point.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Now,